Good morning. Welcome to episode 8 of the Great Guitar Build Off 2022. McD Guitars here, hanging with Mickey McDowell. And yeah, let's get started, huh? Today we're going to start working on our fretboard. So what we got here is some zero cote. See the picture there? We already picked ourselves our preliminary spot where we want to be. So I think today we'll work on the thickness of this a little and plane it up for gluing. We'll also cut some fret slots in there. From that point, I will glue it on to the neck before I do any kind of radiusing or inlay work. It's the process I like to go through on that one. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have some time to check out some inlay design today. And we're also gonna hope that everyone in the headstock department has got everything worked out and we can take a peek at a shape on that. And yeah, so what else? We'll probably check in on the bodywork and see where we're at on there. And we're also going to check out some new hardware we got, change things up a little. So before we get into that, I wanted to do a little history today and just real quick kind of run through the history of my guitar building. So I think we should go to the music room and check some stuff out. Let's go. Here we are in the music room. This is where all the fun happens and where we shake it loose. I'm going to give you a quick peek around and try not to be too shaky, and then we'll get to some details and look at where the guitar work of mine's been coming from and some of the things that we have going on. So let's get after it. All right, so over here we have the bass corner. Woohoo! And we'll just kind of pan around, and we got my PRSs. I didn't start out a PRS fan. About 7 years ago, somewhere in there, I started getting serious about guitars, and I just went out and played every one, and the PRS neck is what felt best with my hand. So that's why I went with it. I wasn't really exposed to that for any reason. It's just the one that felt right. So moving forward, we got some fun electronics over there. Obviously, we got drum set. Got some acoustics over there, 12-string, 6. Always have to have a dime bag guitar around, right? And some more bass. In the corner over there, I have a resonator hiding. We can't see it. Should we run over and see it? There is the resonator. So here we are, the closet of goodness. Let's take a peek in there and see what we find. All right. Should we look and see what we got? Alright, well, I like that, huh? Everybody else? I think this is familiar, huh? So we'll just take a deep dive in and start looking. We'll start out by taking a peek at number 1 here. So this is the first one. First one I built, it's actually probably would be a playable guitar, issues I ran onto with this was my scale length ended up being a tiny bit off. I think it probably would be correctable in saddle length. It wasn't that bad. But our front pickup here ended up offline. You can see I had a router mistake in there too, but luckily the pickup cover just covers that, so it's not noticeable when you have pickups on there. Yeah, it's got some finish on it. I never really did any sanding or buffing. Kind of figured out where I was going wrong and decided to let this one sit and maybe get back to it someday. But we just move forward. So. If we move on here to number 2. This guy turned out a lot better. Learn from my mistakes, didn't make them again. Here, we're not finished yet, but we're looking pretty good. It's really well weighted, it doesn't want to fall over. And yeah, this is the one I put strings on and played and having fun with. So finally got a working guitar here, as I've started getting into the guitar I'm doing here, I think I decided I'm going to sand this down further. I'm my skills are improving, and this one could definitely use a little more work. So I think before I finish that, I'll get back in and take a little bit more off of this guy. But for all intents and purposes, this is the first working guitar that I've created. I said I haven't wired it up yet, but playing it acoustically, it sounds great. And, I can rip through, play a bunch of songs, and oh my god, I made it, right? Yeah, that's pretty amazing. We're all familiar with number 3 here. You know, we've seen this enough that I don't have to really get this out and show it. You know, maybe we can finally get a good angle on that figurine in the neck. See that a little maybe. Yep, we've been over this guy, so you can check it out. Non-guitar related, I ended up with tennis elbow really bad. I was out of the game for about 8 months, so it's kind of what made me stop on these guitars I'm working on. The fretwork, you know, finishing, all that, just wasn't in the cards for me for about 8 months. I went through that. It was no fun. But I was really passionate about guitars by this point, so I did what I could. You know, I built bodies and I cut out some necks. And this is a Jerry Garcia inspired guitar that I'm working on. And yeah, it's a monster right now. Just started carving this one, so inspired by Jerry Garcia. I like his guitar work. Also got this really other nice, this is probably the nicest piece of quilted maple I've ever seen. I don't know if the picture will do it justice, but you've seen this in one of the intros in the very beginning. In different forms, barely just started getting a carve on this, and it's kind of bummed because I wasn't really thinking about GGBO, and this is probably definitely the guitar I would have done. Just going to be a complete PRS replica with just really nice wood, white limba, really quilty maple, and the landscape neck I got the idea from is probably going to be going on this guitar. I think this one's going to end up really nice. This will probably be the first one for me. Most of these guitars I'm building are for other people, so I suppose now we could just maybe take a deep dive, take a little slideshow through some of the really nice wood I have going on here. You know, I'm not going to go through all of it, but we have a lot of nice stuff going on in here, so I figure we could probably take a close-up look at some of those. And yeah, then we'll get back to it. Let's go get our fretboard started, huh? So here we have a variety of necks in process. Just kind of working through these guys and letting them take the shape and sit for a while. And hopefully these will be going into guitars pretty soon. Got this finally found the piece of Zero Cote. I'm going to book match both of these and make a hollow body. Hopefully one of these necks will work its way onto there. Pretty excited about those. Found a piece of redwood. It's pretty figured. It's pretty amazing stuff. That's it was a pretty big chunk. It's the backside. You know, I'm able to get 4 tops out of this thing. It was pretty monstrous. There's one of them. One of them still hasn't been book matched yet. I'm gonna work on that. This is a piece of ribbon mahogany that is way beyond my skill set right now. It's a 1 piece, so we'll wait on that. Definitely going to take my time with this one. One last little thing I want to wrap up before we get out of here, and that's explain a little bit of what my control placement's going to look like. So I'm going to grab number 1 here. This is my favorite. My baby, what I play the most. And look at that, I recently just got myself a new custom leather snakeskin strap. And yeah, Jimmy C's, you know, I'm going to throw some info up here if you're ever interested in a custom strap of your liking. Boy, take a look at a couple of these he's done, you know. This one for starters, you know, it's for me. And then this crocodile one he just did recently, I really thought was awesome too. So I'll throw a picture up of that. And yeah, the guy does amazing work. And if you want a custom guitar strap, he's the guy to look up. So Jimmy C's, check it out. So I'm still on the fence. I think there's a decent chance we may end up with the piezo system in our guitar. I really enjoy it on here. You know, I can reach through. We've got electric, acoustic, just straight acoustic with a blend knob of how much acoustic we want blended in if we're running both electric and acoustic. Blend knob, I think we're going to leave out, and we're also going to just have electric, acoustic. Well, I don't think I'll have both. You know, and so I'm definitely going to put our switch in this position on where our hollow body is on our guitar. Really comfortable with that now, and it's going to keep it out of the way for what we have going on, because not only would we have a toggle for piezo at that point, but we'll also need to check the other style out, because we're going to blend this guitar with my other guitar. So let's get that one out and compare. This here is my newest baby. Wow, is it beautiful. This is my first one-of-a-kind guitar I've ever owned. It's the only one like it. With this wood combination, you know, white limba neck, white limba back, quilted maple front. This color scheme. There were 2 of these guitars made in this color scheme, but they had different wood. So, 1 of 2 out there. 1 of 1. Wow, does this thing ring like a bell? This is where we get our idea from, you know. We got coil split here with our mini toggles, and I've gotten used to this. So, you know, we're obviously not going to need a 5-way switch. I wish I could buy a narrow field pickup and slap it in there, but I don't think they sell these things yet. I'll have to take a look, maybe. We'll have 3-way switch located a little lower. You know, our volume will be back a little bit as our hollow body is. And then we'll just work in our tone, our coil split, and our piezo. And hope it doesn't get too busy. Hope it's still relatively good. And some of the hardware I picked up that we're going to look at in this video is it's going to help us out a little, I think. So we'll take a peek at that when we get there. Yep. Our newest baby. Boy, do I like it. So, on that note, you know, this is going to be a combination of our control configuration on our guitar we're going to do. So, we'll just kind of map that out as we go and see on our body where we can place all this stuff. And, I don't know, we'll see how good I'm feeling as far as maybe doing some recess for my stuff, but I'm not quite sure if I would make that pretty enough. So, we'll cross that road as we get there. All right, let's go play around with some zero cote and make a fretboard, huh? All right, well, we've got the fretboard smoothed out and thinned down enough for my taste right now. We still got some radiusing to do, so that's going to take a little bit more. So I feel comfortable with where we're at right now. We went ahead and mocked up where our frets are going to be. I mean, this is pretty close, but they're not dead accurate. What we're doing here is we're giving ourselves a guideline. When I run through my fret sign jig, having these lines, I won't have to drop our fret scale on there in between every cut and double check and make sure I'm not making mistakes. So now I should be able to just flow through there pretty easy and get it going. So let's see how many times it takes me to take this straight on our template guide here. Well, we have the beginnings of a fretboard. Yeah, huh? I like it. Not sure what you guys think. We're definitely still hanging along with that landscape design. Done some research, and oiling these guys can be a real nightmare. It's real easy for the wood to turn dark and lose all the good definition that this wood is beautiful for. Probably gonna have to be equally careful while I'm staining it. So we'll do some tests definitely on anything. We don't have much in cut to test with though, right? We will play around with that and make sure we go light enough. So using that jig sure is nice, cutting these fret slots out, huh? We are straight, accurate, and I like it. My hand is not this accurate yet. I wish it was, but we will radius this at some point, and we'll have to recut these fret slots. At that point, we'll just use a saw with a depth guide, and I think we'll be just fine following the groove there. Pretty much where I want to be with this right now. See what else we need to do to it before we glue it on the neck. We'll just take it one step at a time, right? We kind of ran long today, I apologize. I hope you guys had at least a little bit of interest in checking out the music room and some of my background and what I'm into. A lot of things we didn't get to that we talked about, and I'm sure next episode will be just fine. We'll have some really good inlay ideas going to share with you. And yeah, I'm just gonna polish that headstock off and make it look nice. Well, it's the hardest part, right? And I think before we leave today, we'll definitely check in a few of the pictures of some behind the scenes sanding I've been doing on the body. Check that out real quick. But yeah, we made some new color sawdust today, everyone. I like it. And yeah, if you are still here, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, let's keep rocking, right?